I'm back with another one. Today in class, we have a skill of the week. It's handstand push-ups. Handstand push-ups tend to be notoriously hard for a lot of people for a lot of reasons. One is we are open and honest with our athletes that there has to be an appropriate strength to body weight ratio to be able to do handstands proficiently. For us, proficiency is moving through range of motion upside down on one ab mat. That is how we standardize proficiency. So an individual has to have an appropriate amount of strength and a appropriate body weight, right? They have to have an appropriate body weight based on body fat. Those two things will identify how well somebody does that on average, right? There can be limitations of range of motion, skill acquisition issues we're working through, but for the most part, the foundation, the base has to be, is the individual strong enough? Are their body comps appropriate for them in their age? We put those two together, we can develop the handstand. On the opposite end, if those individuals don't have that, it makes the journey through the handstand push-up much longer. It just makes it much longer. What we have done in our facility is we've built a progression, a series of technical ladders of skill, meaning this is the most technical way to do it, and then we have these levels below it. I actually have it written down here. We have the handstand push-up. That is the hardest way to do it. Now there's obviously more difficult ways to do it through some deficit of some sort or weighted handstands, but let's just leave it at full range handstand push-ups. Handstand push-ups to ab mat would be the first modification, so we're minimizing the range of motion. We have the static hold. This is someone's ability to kick themselves upside down and hold that lockout position. We have incline push-ups, so we're developing strength through some body angle, but through range of motion. And last but not least, if the individual is just not strong enough or can't kick themselves upside down, we're working through the standing barbell press, because the standing barbell press is an inverted handstand if you think about it. As a coach, we're trying to create a stress response, right? We have to give them just enough to hopefully build that strength over time, but not so much to hurt them. And I want to go over some of the drills that we use in group class. If you're a coach, I hope these help you. If you're an athlete, I hope these help you. Either way, this movement done with a lot of reps can develop immense amount of strength in the shoulders. Bringing you upside down helps develop vestibular balance, your awareness in space, and it's a really cool skill to have, especially if you're doing something as intense as CrossFit. So let's go over the first progression. We like to work backwards. We call this reverse engineering. So if we look at the most technical movement, and then we work backwards and we create what we call regressions, right, from those movements. So the first one is a handstand push-up, one ab mat. We have that set up here already. It looks like this. We're looking for the athlete's ability to kick themselves upside down, move through this range of motion, right? Simply put, the handstand is an elbow bend. They are coming from here. They are bending their elbows until that surface area of the palm meets the head, right? That's ground, and we come back and lock it back out. That's what we're looking for over time. Some individuals can't go that low and they never touch the ab mat. So what we want to do with these individuals is standardize depth, because the worst thing you can do is build inconsistency through range of motion. Consistency above all else is how people get stronger. They have to maintain the same standard over time until that becomes easier, and then they advance the level of consistency. So we just throw two ab mats, right? That would be the first progression. Place it on top, kick up. Now, as you obviously can see, that's too easy. And as a really good coach, somebody with good self-awareness as an athlete, if that's too easy, if you're raise your hands in the air like you just don't care, and you're not getting much out of it, I would really challenge your depth, okay? Just because you're doing 100 of these doesn't mean that you're getting anything out of it. So we always got to look at, is this regression producing a stimulus that will hopefully get you stronger? Really, really important to consider over time, because that was once hard, over time will become easy, and so you have to keep challenging yourself. That's fitness 101. From there, we look at static holds, right? No matter how strong someone is, if they can't kick themselves upside down, it's pointless to be really strong. So we want to be able to get people upside down comfortably. So we're working through kicking up. This, for some people, is the skill, is the movement of the day, because they're just building comfort upside down. For some people, they haven't gone upside down in 2, 3, 4, 5 decades. They haven't been upside down in 50 years. So we want to be considerate of that as we're working through that. Another way to get them upside down with safety is a wall walk, all right? That falls within that regression right there, because basically we're trying to get their hips inverted over their shoulders and building comfort there and putting pressure on their shoulders upside down. That is the goal there. I'll show that. We're looking for stacked joints, meaning the wrists are stacked over elbows, elbows over shoulder, shoulder over hips, hips over ankles. That is that rigid, erect line. You'll see beginners bowing themselves and really causing unneeded stress in the system. So we want to try to create body awareness. Now, it's one thing, the individual stands tall, they're fully erect, they have no problem. All of a sudden, you put them upside down and they lose that ability. A lot of that is awareness, proprioception, right? How they're moving and manipulating, getting their brain to do what they're getting their bodies to do what their brain is telling them to do. That's really tough upside down. So you have to be sensitive to that with individuals, right? You tell them to bring their head through and they end up bringing it back. You tell them to go back and they bring it through. So there can be a lot of issues going on there. And then one that we really like that I think people forget to consider is just an incline push-up of some degree, right? Because really the handstand is the most extreme incline push-up we have, right? The handstand push-up, I'll say it again, is an extreme incline push-up, because we go from regular push-ups and then we add an incline, a degree of angle, until you get to verticality, right? And you can't go from 0 to hero if you don't have that skill, meaning you can't just barely finally get push-ups and think you're going to kick yourself to that much of an angle at 90 degrees and start doing handstand push-ups. It's not going to happen. So with these individuals, we want to build consistency of the body angle that they're training at. So what I have set up here is we use adjustable bars with a clip in, and we build up heights that way. You can use a bench, you can use boxes, doesn't matter, but what's most important is you're building consistency of body angle so that over time they're bringing the depth of the incline bar lower and lower until their feet come higher and higher. You see how we're transitioning those feet in the air. So we go here, 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 here. That over time, we drop that lower, increase the angle, here, here, until they get all the way down. From there, we can start working that height, right? For some individuals with a severe gap of strength to body weight ratio, this is perfect for them because they're moving through range of motion. They're getting the pressing motion. That's phenomenal for them. Coaches and athletes, something to consider. And last but not least, the quickest way, by far, the quickest way to develop someone's overall shoulder strength is the barbell standing press, right? The standing press is an inverted handstand, right? So it's perception, right? Is the handstand an inverted press, or is a press an inverted handstand? They're both equally important, but raw strength, absolute strength, the quickest way to develop. What example? Would I get stronger doing barbell presses faster, or would I get stronger doing handstand push-ups faster? The answer is barbell press, because we can continue to incrementally add weight on that bar, something we can't do with our own body weight upside down. So these individuals are just building body awareness for rack position, pressing out. This looks eerily similar to the handstand, which is here. There's some nuances in it, but something we teach for, honestly, just advanced athletes. That progression right there is a solid progression from start to finish. If someone's starting from day one, they can't kick themselves upside down, and day one they start with barbell presses, that timeline is much longer than someone who comes in first day able to kick up upside down and do 5 handstand push-ups like I was the first day I did CrossFit 10 years ago. So it's where are they coming at with their current level of skill with you? How far removed are they from a fitness protocol like ours, and meeting the gap? Handstand push-ups are really hard. It's why we implement them as skill of the week every 4 weeks into our gym, where we're adding some type of progression or skill that we can break up in the handstand and help them develop through the week here with us. So I hope that helped, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.